stolen bases. And Sandy
incredibly played what they were doing, knew what they were in.
And one of those was a hairline fracture
On the season.
And with that swing there, he showed how quick his hands. Santiago Espinal.
An hour. What happened? So when Toronto
Slides and throws. This is Dalton rushing.
Signs already.
To fire. The game and suspend.
Mad at Sanchi. We're mad at Aaron. A bit last year. They're out here in surprise tonight. The infield, you want to get familiar.
Getting used to each other in the spring.
It's 390 feet. So with that,
so if you look at them, not only play all over the
big way. Said, with all out of hand, and I will not.
This was the 70s and the 80s. This is
Those days anymore. Watch out.
Well, there's a lot. And Sawinski get that corrected. Well, Newman gets a nice bounce and just that so that Joel has his. This is. All right.
March 27th. I know what you said. Even Hosmer wasn't in the big leagues yet.
You know, the things that we worked on this offseason. He's in a really good spot. So at the end of the day, this team my career helped me with is just learning. Thinking of them, you know, as soon as you're told.
In the booth, all right?
Joel, you got to make sure.
Royals.com/
Short, not getting many reps over there.
Rojas has a leadoff double. And it's not just the talent of the position.
And at the end of the day, over the last 2 to 3, really advanced.
That was a good swing. Comes in to make the play, 2 down. So
isn't hitting a fastball that sinks. No. Instead of
Spinall, who's very similar to Josh.
It's Marte a lot when he was in New York and I was communicating well and stuff. I think that's important. And
defending all that ground for that.
yeah, I mean, you know how it is, man. You can felt really good. Kind of go a little bit more so you can see the hitter.
Game planning or anything, but
Talked about, like, you know, you
visit with Lane Thomas, 2 challenges. I mean, that
fastball or whatever, you know, so
called upon, and you're starting to play every time of the season. You're only facing a stretch left.
stuff figured out.
Royals in Arizona, it's going to be the opposite. And just thinking, please, on the monitor, it sure looked like a nap. When we were on base percentage was 90 point.
These numbers are now taking
His first time up.
Collins, for instance, he has lower on base percentage, and maybe
The agents.
I'm going to say, okay, I want it. So, if we're seeing success off of Sasaki,
And then, so 3 years ago,
about 96, and that release point. Because at that point in time, it's just. So that's a tough right on right up
here in the booth. The farther you get away from double to left with 2 strikes.
Top step, trying to talk to both of them as much.
The atmosphere.
He said that, you know, it was so much fun.
Trumpets.
How do you describe
Man, just from thinking on a big stage like that, and he's
superstars, many of whom you know?
on baseball, and I'm just really
Watching at home, and we can kind of see a healthy bullpen and having Luke.
Yeah, man, we feel like
We're looking forward to your second season.
all right. Thank you.
Chemistry. Light
But he chose to be here, which is pretty cool.
out of the pen.
Put me
Spring
to the
training
test,
game.
spring training, get me ready. Right? It's because he's releasing it.
Thanks to the spring. To get cool down, ramp it back, taken out of an inning so that the
Game, but at the end of the day,
is 0 for 1.
year after, I'm sorry, my second, we're going to break for season and not see getting ready differently for the season.
The guy just, there's a, and it's 3-2 in the bottom.
That's real. That is
1 on Gavin Cross. So anyway, he pitched in the first week of the
got some stuff in the cage, get back out there and so challenging.
But today, these guys show up,
Just got a lot of points.
take it all by himself. So
For you many years with the Detroit Tigers.
So everything's been good, just ready to get going.
In Kaufman, the WBC at this moment as we speak.
They're in the cage every morning before they took off.
One of those defensive plays, and here we were.
Some other guys and getting big hits for us here. A bit more, I'd have had a little bit more homers, but
second base to begin the bottom of the fifth inning.
BBC, and he rose the guys, but for Kaggs, that was his first.
Vinny, you see Vinny in the dugout with him at
Help him go through some growing pains at all young.
Earlier today is great.
50,000 people, and we met right. Just get me there, but as a hitter, you still have to
BC's 95, 96.
love it.
And now we know who's starting.
Humble guy and a team guy, and it's quite the honor to get out.
It was awesome. That's what out fresh and ready to go, and he's at the point.
Guys that filled in did a tremendous job being a Cy Young Award winner.
And Drury puts the ball in play.
It's also reflective of where we expect that was your future. Right now, we
These players know now they're never the same as the same roster you broke camp.
know where they stand, and they all.
His release point get to home.
Goes up and in towards this lefty.
100%.
Biggest battle.
It's an organization. Charging in from third, so that is
And here's a guy that's been around a little bit.
Especially Sam over here. We want to keep him on his toes.
Waka gone. Cole Reagans is telling us the ramp down, ramping up.
In the game here wasn't as crisp, but
What did you see from Cole when he?
it does. It does. You got keep the Raider. He went over to the White Sox, but
well, as we talked about pitching when given an opportunity, and that'll get crossed.
So lucky to not only play these young players, be a sponge.
You can go back to and say, man, I remember.
And I was going to high A, but just the gesture right there, but here at the big leagues,
Has beaten the USA. Any team that in the bases and throwing guys out.
but in all seriousness, like, man, I'm getting sent down. Whereas, congrats, Nino. You continue.
A player when they get completely different kind of frustration. Just
A lot of eyes. Good for him.
on the left side of the infield. We'll see what
Be the conversation around the world is the Royals went home this offseason and said, if I'm going to
Newman, and he's going to throw out. And he is on for the
inning, and we're in that big spot, and they already feel like they got the first out of the way. Leave for us early.
That's fair. So he used that for inspiration last year. So Newman picks up Drury. That will be caught.
And everyone too. How about the look? It's amazing because this was a pretty stacked bullpen.
I mean, we got a great group.
In those high leverage situations.
Like I said, the group of guys we had.
Teammates with him before too. What do you remember? I knew that he would enjoy hearing that one. All right, that is John Schreiber. I knew it.
Home, so Dodger.
There.
And at the plate and out.
Late in the spring training game, some of the because I don't want you to get that ball out in front.
Batting for the first time.
Either.
The Mount Rushmore series between the Royals.
Their season.
And for whatever reason,
He looks good in that costume, that's for sure. Hometown connections.
been great. WBC MVP.
Classic. Michael,
WBC MVP.
I think continue to be unfazed as he's been.
To March, you want to be in Atlanta.
467. How's that?
Games with them.
It wasn't me, that's for sure. Because if it was, and he's Jack skew confidence in your coaching staff.
Tresh, that's a good throw on a pitch.
If it's first base coach with a stopwatch in his back pocket. Got to find the edge any way you can. Take the blame for me right now because runner, that's 2 looks. So if it's a 1-5 or a 1 in 2. So if we're time, we got Weaver game 1. Chilling. So we were just so to give Kane 1 pitch to steal.
Reports that had a big impact.
Is we are prepared and to see that all come to fruition. I don't want to have to decide. So it was a great part. Great.
Tolbert is underneath it. Play here. And no in the 9th inning.
On the field, but the scout.
Because the first baseman can't throw to the bases. He played several times. I think you're safe with the infield.
When you have people like Z, it's so cool to hear stories like that.
You have no working for, because he's always somewhere where I'm with you again and telling these so you get young guys in there.
But what you can do.
Yep. And sometimes that
don't know if Jordan Hicks made the team. Will
be home to face
could not have had a better
City Royals. And Gentry's on to begin the bottom of the first. Bad season.
September, you realize, man, understand how much time there is. We can out there and play our games. Absolutely. And days, it gave us the ability
by the opening night, and that's going to be
and that's huge. Not every organization has 13 different guys to be in the
9th inning, beat the Royals.
Michael, you have introduced yourself to the world, buddy.
WBC MVP. I think we know about Michael. That's not going to go to his head or anything.